Mad Maggie is here, Season 12 is coming, and her abilities are actually insane because this could be the end of Gibraltar in the current meta. And what do I mean by that? Well, hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and today I'm going to be breaking down everything we know about Season 12. That includes Mad Maggie and her confirmed abilities and how they will change up the meta. Plus all the changes coming to Olympus, weapon changes, care package rotations, and even some potential buffs and nerfs coming into the game. So make sure that you watch all the way to the end, because if you don't, I will find you. But before that, we all love Apex because we can do cool stuff like wall bounce into some dubs. But now I need you to wall bounce into a girl's DMs. And what better way to get the confidence to do so than with our brand new partner, Manscaped. Manscaped is the best in men's below the waist grooming with precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped sent our whole team their Performance Package 4.0, and I gotta say, when my heirloom flips in 4K badge finally pull off and I impress a girl enough to get her into bed, I'll be glad that I had Manscaped to back me up. And because their Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, you can kiss that bathroom floor mess goodbye and be able to use it no matter where you are. On top of that, we all know that Apex doesn't have the best audio, so why add to that problem? With their Weed Whacker, you'll be able to trim up your ear hairs and be able to hear when your teammate whiffs all their shots on a 4 HP lifeline. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and use code HOSTESS at checkout for 20% off your order. Your balls will thank you. Now let's start this off by talking about the thing I'm most excited for, the new LTM coming, Control. This is going to be a huge breath of fresh air in my opinion because it will bridge the gap between game modes in Apex perfectly. Arena had such good potential, but it is just very stale and more of a game mode you play when you're bored of BR instead of maining that specific game mode. I know there are some people who only play arenas, but that isn't nearly as big as the population who only play Battle Royale. I'm very excited to see how Control plays out because you can pick your loadout before going into game from what it seems. This will offer a lot more customization for players and really offer a lot more to keep people entertained in the long run. Now another thing to note is that this is only a limited time mode. That means it will be going away. I feel like they are just using this to collect data on how players are enjoying the game mode like this before adding it into the main game. There is something like this on the mobile version of Apex with unlockable perks and awesome stuff like that. So I'm hoping Respawn is taking this time to judge how players like this and then look into adding it to a full-time game mode sort of like arenas. Or maybe they're going to go full out and take arenas out, making Control the new permanent game mode. This would be a huge step and I doubt they'd actually do that, but maybe Control will be better than arenas and actually be a more viable version and more competitive. But now, Mad Maggie, her abilities are confirmed, we know what's coming, so let's talk about this. And what better place to start than her passive? We saw this in the trailer where she starts to glow red. This seems like some form of damage mitigation. Now this is kind of like the Viking Berserkers where they would fly into fits of fury and be unkillable. I don't know if Maggie will be unkillable, but it seems like it will reduce damage or even completely take it away somehow. This could work like 3 Legends. It could be like Wraiths where it passively activates whenever the game senses you are in danger. It could also be like Bangalore's where somebody has to shoot at you to activate it. Or the one that I'm hoping for, and it's kind of like Valkyrie's where you get to pick and choose how to activate your passive. This would require another keybind, so I highly doubt it would come in, but it would be a lot better to actually be able to choose when you get the damage mitigation so that you could time it for swinging out on players. But there is another form of damage mitigation in the game with the fortified legends like Gibraltar and Caustic, so I don't know how exactly they're changing it up, but I'm excited to see what they do to make it different. And now, the ability that I'm most excited for, her tactical, her breach charge. Now in the trailer we saw it go through full terrain, it went through a full-on box. So from that I'm assuming that it will be able to go through walls, doors, and everything like that. But on top of that, I think that you'll be able to shoot it onto the side of a Gibraltar bubble and it will go through, damaging everybody inside of it. So that's why I think that this is the end of Gibraltar in the current meta, because if you force out a team's bubble, they're all inside it, they're all stabilizing, they're all healing, you shoot the breach charge onto it, push the bubble, they're all still going to be hurt inside, leaving easy cleanup kills inside. So if Gibraltar's bubble is completely useless against a legend, will he still be in the meta? I don't know. From what it looks like, the breach charge will kind of be like Fuse from Rainbow Six Siege, how you can place it on a wall, it goes through, stuff like that. But what I'm most excited to see is what walls we are actually able to shoot it through. Will it go through everything? Will it have to be a certain width of wall? We don't know quite yet, but I really am excited to find out. And finally, her ultimate, the Beyblade, it's called Wrecking Ball. She pulls her ripcord and sends this out in a direction. I'm assuming it's gonna work like the Boombot from Valorant, how it will go in certain directions and bounce off walls potentially, and then it will damage the first person that it hits. Now in the trailer we did see it knock someone over. I don't think that'll work like that in game. This is just a gameplay trailer, it's an artist's rendition of how it works, but I am excited to see if it is going to be a form of CC as well as damage. And if the other leaks are true and the Wrecking Ball does leave behind a wake of speed burst, how else will that shake up the meta? Will Octane become meta once again because he has 2 speed bursts? Now just to clarify, Octane is still really good in the current game. He is technically meta, but he doesn't have as high of a pick rate in higher tier ranked lobbies. That's what I mean by that. So with all that, Mad Maggie seems to be a really high tier entry fragger. It seems like she will shake up the meta a lot depending on how strong her abilities actually are. And to see a legend shake up the meta this hard off drop will be really interesting. The last time we saw a legend do that off drop was Seer, and that went absolutely horribly. Now some people might be saying that Ashe came into the meta off drop as well, and she kinda did, but it wasn't nearly as bad as Seer. People were still picking a lot of different legends over Ashe. Seer was a must have off drop, so I'm wondering if Mad Maggie is going to be that impactful. Now we can move into some stuff that Apex is taking away, and that is the legend additions in the game. They will most likely be added to EA's Play Subscribe system, as there is a tag attached to the message mentioning legend edition with EA Play. So they still will be available to purchase, just not through the Apex store. But what about changes being done to Olympus? What's going on there? Well, we can see from Apex's Instagram story that there are some changes to Olympus by adding in a new city area with floating cars, it looks like. Also, Garrett Leaks on Twitter posted this picture showing areas that may be affected. Seems to be the area north of Bonsai and west of Solar Array. This will be a huge change because it will open up a new area for people to drop in and then be able to move towards Bonsai or Solar for third parties, allowing certain teams to rack up easy KP for ranked. The other area getting changed seems to be Orbital Cannon, and that is another really big change and improvement. That southeast side of the map had very little loot and made a fairly sizable area unplayable because of how open it was with minimal loot. I do also feel like I should point out that these are unconfirmed by devs as of right now, so they are subject to change in the future. But I'm really hoping they come through because these will be amazing quality of life changes for Olympus. Now for a myth, there have been people talking about a laser sight coming into the game showing footage of the wingman in the firing range with it. I want to clear up some confusion about this. This is not from anyone at Respawn. This was just a video made by another data leaker, Kral Rindo, and this is not official in any way, shape, or form. Now, Respawn could see all the excitement from this and add it in the future, but as of right now, it is not coming to the game in any form. Another thing not coming this season is a new weapon. Now, I don't blame them for not adding a new gun this season. There is a ton of stuff to work on, so hopefully they have diverted the attention of another gun to balance changes that we will be seeing coming out shortly. I'm hoping to see some nerfs to the Rampage. Even after the 2 damage nerf it did receive, it is still way too good currently and way too oppressive. But now time for a little speculation. In the video showcasing the anniversary event, there was a bit where Wattson was holding an alternator. Now, it's not out of the question for Respawn to add a care package weapon to videos like this, but the interesting part is the alternator does not have a barrel stabilizer on it, making it seem like it isn't fully kitted and not a care package weapon. Are we seeing disruptor rounds taken out of the game again, and is the alternator going back onto ground loot? I hope they're just using an old model of the gun for the video and it stays in the care package. It fits extremely well as one of the package guns. It's a gun that people fear, but it isn't broken enough to win every fight. On ground loot, it was kind of a meh gun that was an attachment holder for a 301, but it does seem like the weapons will be swapped around a little bit in the care package. Also, what legends will be receiving nerfs and which ones will be receiving buffs? Respawn usually nerfs around popularity and win rate, so that does leave some legends who would be up first. We will probably see another Gibraltar and Bloodhound nerf coming into the game. My teammate did say someone had information on it confirming the nerfs, but I was unable to find anything backing up the statement, so it's just a guess at this point. Another legend who would probably receive a nerf is Valkyrie. She has seen huge pick rates in ranked and tournaments with how strong her ultimate is. I doubt it would be a huge nerf, probably just something like adding 30 seconds onto her ult timer if she does end up getting a nerf at all. Though for buffs, some legends I do hope to see receiving them are Mirage, Seer, and Bangalore. They don't really have a spot in the current meta and just feel left out to dry. Maybe with some changes we could see Seer back in meta. I doubt with their current kits Mirage or Bangalore would be meta, but with some buffs it could help out the people that do main them on their rank grinds. Though one buff confirmed for Season 12 is the crypto one. This was talked about by Josh Medina on Twitter, and he said the same person handling the crypto buff is the same person who did Watson's buff, so I can't wait to see what they do with him. And finally, we have the next gen console updates. For those who are wondering, they supposedly are coming in Season 12 with 2 known dates from leaks. One comes on the 8th with the release of the new season, and one on the 18th. I think the 2 dates is in case the servers aren't good on release of the new season like they have been every new season. So if the servers are actually bad, Respawn probably won't want to push a patch like that could potentially bug out the game. So if the servers are actually bad, they won't want to push out a patch that could potentially be super buggy for next gen consoles. They will most likely want to wait for the servers to stabilize on the 18th and then update the game so that they can better monitor it. But now I want to throw this over to you. What are you most excited for in the new season? Is it the LTM, the new character, or maybe even Olympus returning tickles your fancy? Let me know in the comments down below. Lots of stuff will be changing, so if you guys want to stay up to date with all of these potential changes, don't forget to smash that sub button and ring the bell so you get notified when we post. Season 12 is coming in hot, and so are we, with tons of new videos. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.